Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to you, depending on where you've logged in this live session. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to today's meetup session on how AI is changing day-to-day work of a project manager, of a product manager. This event is hosted by Data Couch, and today we are honored to have our SME, Mr. Francesco Corti, as our guest speaker for this session. Francesco is a seasoned software professional with over 25 years in the IT industry and 5 plus years in product management, currently serving as a principal product manager at Docker with a rich background at companies like Spotify and Alfresco Highland. He is passionate about open source and enhancing the developer experience. A developer at heart, he has a strong track record in enabling and inspiring developers globally. As a speaker, author, and community builder, he brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this expert session. Please welcome our guest speaker. We warmly welcome Francisco and look forward to his insights during today's session. Before we begin, let me take a moment to introduce Data Couch. We're leading in professional service delivery, specializing in generative AI, data engineering, cloud, blockchain, cybersecurity, agile, DevOps, data science-based consulting, implementation, and training. Our offerings include consultancy, custom solution implementation, enablement services, and upskilling and training. In addition to our core offerings, we have a proprietary browser-based virtual lab solution, and we also offer managed services for infrastructure and human capital to meet the unique requirements of organizations of all sizes and scale. We are excited to share that our global footprint has enabled us to transform careers of over 150,000 professionals. Thanks to this growing community of learners, our expertise now spans cutting edge technologies like Web3, generative AI, big data, DevOps, and cloud, to name just a few, where we continue to push the boundaries of innovation. Highlighting our significant achievements, we have successfully partnered with Fortune 500 companies and GSIs such as Infosys, Accenture, and TCS, as well as big as tech giants like Apple and Google, and financial corporations like PayPal, Bank of America, among others. Driven by our commitment to community and knowledge sharing, we've established three specialized meetup groups: AI Minds, Generative AI User Group, and All Things Data, with the membership exceeding 25,000 members globally. And our community has participated in over 200 such sessions, covering more than 100 diverse technologies and tools. We're honored to announce that Confluent has recognized our dedication to delivering exceptional technology education by naming us the Global Education Partner for both 2022 and 2023. This prestigious accolade, received for the second consecutive year, underscores our leadership in providing cutting-edge training and consulting services on a global scale. As the first training delivery partner for Starburst Data and One House, we are proud to forge and build upon robust alliances with industry leaders. While some clients' names remain confidential, our collaborations include a global beverage and snacks conglomerate, a premier North American payment solutions provider, a cutting-edge cybersecurity and risk management platform, and a retail giant with operations across 5 continents. Following this brief introduction to our organization and our work, I'd like to hand over to Francisco. Francisco, please feel free to bring the learning to this session.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Again, thank you, first of all, Data Couch, for hosting me. So without further ado, I would like to share my screen and continue the conversation. Yes, I think I can now. So let's move on. And yeah, let me know if if you cannot see my screen. So please feel free to raise questions into the chat. I will try to do my best to follow the chat, and please unmute yourself, mute yourself if you if you don't have to speak, of course. Without further ado, let's go into the details. I would like to reserve, first of all, some minutes at the end for questions, because it's a funny part when we can learn from one each other and discuss about what we are discussing today. And today we will talk a little bit about the role of product managers. I will ask how many of you is doing a covered in the past or currently a job in the product management space. And we will discuss a little bit about the impact of artificial intelligence to the product management job and work. But we don't want to be theoretical only. I would like to share and show to you how I and my team is using two tools for working together on our daily basis. We'll talk about ChatGPT and Arro, and again, Arro is not something that is a product that Docker is using, but I'm using. I'm part of the um, advocacy team of Arrow, and looking at this product from pretty close. And we will discuss a little bit about the future. And because one of the most recurring questions that I'm receiving during my speech, talking about product management, and not only about this, is our job at risk because of artificial intelligence? And we will discuss a little bit more about this. Before going into the details, let me share a disclaimer, because this is also something that happened when I was pitching a similar talk to this. I'm not here to sell anything. Instead, I'm here to share my experience. So I would like to hear from you also, what is your experience related to this topic, because I want to learn from you, and I'm sure I have a lot to learn from you. So, first of all, let's see if at the end of this presentation you will be similar to the guy on the left or the guy on the right. So, if you will be happy or disappointed from what the future in front of us is because of artificial intelligence. I have some thoughts that I'm going to share in a few seconds. Before, let me start from having an overview of the role of a product manager. By definition, a product manager is a professional who is covering a lot of roles into a team. I would like to hear from you, and please feel free to drop a message in the chat. How many of you, I mean, are you covering now, or did you cover in the past product management role in your experience? Feel free to drop a yes or no into the chat, so I will have a sense of what is the audience, what is your expertise, so I can maybe adjust a little bit the speech. Again, no problem if you. Oh, thank you, Tejas, for example. Looking forward to seeing this future. This is helping me a lot, so I can provide you a little bit of context of what you should expect in your path ahead. Thank you for all of your comments. But in any way, uh, as you can see in the comment is Wikipedia. This is pretty fun. The role and the job of a product manager has not always been clear, and is not still clear a lot to most of the people. For example, a lot of people is confusing the role of a product manager with a project manager. That is a completely different role and job. But oh, and by the way, I found again, this is a pretty old picture, but I found this picture in my inbox, and I think it's pretty funny, because this is exactly how different people in the world is looking at the role of the product manager. Honestly, I totally agree. For example, what my mom is thinking I'm doing, but also what I believe I'm actually doing, because sometimes I'm really going around, running around, trying to fix the problems and trying to survive to all the challenge that we have in the team, in our business. But anyway, jokes apart, the product management role, especially in tech, where I have always worked and where I'm working, it's a pretty recent and young role and job. So of course it's everything started from far in the past, as you can see, but a real structure role of the product management started in the 2000s, so the year 2000s, and only since 2010 there is a foundational and fundamental blog post that I'm showing here that can also introduce you to the history. But everything started really with the Agile Manifesto and the Agile approach to software development. And since 2010, the decade of 2010, the role of the product manager became really tangible and practical. But again, this was far to be clear. And for example, if you are not aware, especially for Tejas who is looking to become a product manager in the future, I would recommend this Bible for the product management that now is a little bit outdated, but not because it's not true what is defined there, but because there are most recent thoughts around product management. Some of them we will try to introduce here in the speech. But this is again a fundamental book to discuss about the fact that a product manager should focus on the problems, not on the solutions. And again, it's something that was teaching since the late 2010 what a product manager was doing. And again, it was not broadly understood at that time, and there were lots of different points of view of what a PM should do into an organization. But it was growing, and it was present, and it was growing a lot into the business. The most recent history, and I will go pretty fast just to give an overview of the job of the product manager and how artificial intelligence is coming to play in this history. Since 2020, there is an amazing report that I suggest you to take a look if you're interested in this role and this is in this space that is led by Product School. And there are some free and freely available documents and reports that you can check. And everything started since 2020, so pretty recently, 4 years ago, less than 4 years ago. And since then, we have, of course, 4 reports who are telling a lot about the evolution of the job and the role of a product manager since 2020. And again, the role was not broadly agreed to today. Let's have a look at the summary of all the reports to see how the product management role evolved in time. If you look at the history of the report of 2021, so the content and the analytics of 2020, the product was growing in every way or form. Again, was not broadly agreed, but it was growing, and companies had lots of attention to the role of a product manager and the value of a product manager. The year after, honestly, the product-led growth approach, so a more product management, talking about the right things to do instead of doing as much as we can and shipping as much as we can. It was a key point of a successful product and a successful company. And so again, the role of a product manager as the key feature to do the right thing instead of being what is called a feature factory, so ship feature without really understand if it is something that the customer wants to have or not, evolved again in 2023. So we are going back in last year with the impact of the economic uncertainty, where the product rules was gaining a seat at the table of the C levels, so CEO, CPO, CMO, CFO, and et cetera, et cetera. So product people were exactly in the core decision and the strategic parts of the company. So it was appreciated, it was considered as valuable, it was leading the strategy of companies and product. And this year, and this is the summary of the table of content of the report this year, product are continuing to contribute to the strategic part of a company, not only from a feature point of view, but also from a revenue point of view. You can see that our product is required also to take a look at the revenue growth, not only at the value shipping to the customer, that is still a relevant point, And interestingly, you can see happening a trend number three that is about product team are doing more with less people and more AI. And this is exactly the hook that I would like to discuss with you from here ahead, because artificial intelligence is coming to play, is coming to be tangible and visible also in the job of the product manager. And again, I'm talking about the report valid for this year, based, of course, on the data of last year. So it is something that is happening right now and is affecting our job and your job. Where we are today in the career and evolution of the product management. Again, I think it's clear that in today's day, what a product manager does and what should do is pretty clear, not always, but often. And but there is also something that is happening all over in the world. So we had layoff, and because of the layoff, also the product manager role has been impacted, and a lot of conversation are happening about product manager justifying their craft and their contribution to the growth of the organization. And so there are also some challenges around uh, should we have product manager? Are product manager really valuable? Uh, Let me start to address this because this is exactly happening in the past 5 or 6 months from some numbers. It is estimated that 3% of the tech workers of the 200 and more than 200,000 tech works laid off in 2023 were product manager. And this is the source of this data. Now, if you look at the percentage, it seems to be scary, but in reality, this percentage is much way below the overall percentage of the total layoff that tech companies are doing as part of their workforce. We can debate that this is scary, that there is a layoff pretty relevant, but this is how the economy is going. But product manager are affected with layoff, but not as much as other roles into the organization. This should tell a lot about the value that product managers still bring into the organization. And about the conversation about the edge case of should we get rid of product manager, there is an interesting thread happened this year or last year, I don't remember, from in Twitter. Again, now it's X, but at the time I think it was Twitter, where Airbnb was saying, well, we should get rid of a product manager. But this is not entirely true. So Brian Chesky is the founder of Airbnb. It was pointing out that, well, we are changing the role of the product manager. We are not get rid of the product manager. So this is to say that the current conversation about, hey, should we get rid of the product manager is not a real conversation that is really happening. Instead, because of the economic impact, people is trying to optimize and get better from the various roles, including product managers. So in practice, looking at the product management at the product school and what are the latest trend of the past few months, product managers are required to impact more with less. And this is impact more the business, the growth of the company, and everything. And how all of this? Well, mostly in three different ways. The first is about delegating. Oh, and by the way, this is not Francesco telling this, but this is defined into the report that you can again download and read because this is pretty insightful. First of all, the way that is required to impact more with less is about delegating product tasks to other roles. Again, I would like to hear from you, especially the people who is doing product management. But I am also involving a lot and even more user designers, user researcher, and designers in my job of product of discovery, delegating them to do more discovery that I do in alone and in isolation, working with them in interviewing customers. So again, scaling in terms of leveraging the team to do more product with them is for sure is absolutely a way that that we use to impact more the business. There is also a second trend that is impact on the revenue stream, not only on the value of the users. Just a big disclaimer. I'm not saying that the value of the user is not anymore a priority. Is still a priority, but also revenue in this economic uncertainty is important, as well as the business value, as the customer value and the user value. So revenue is always a conversation that honestly was less until some years ago, but it is more now because every product manager at a certain point needs to deal with, okay, but is this growing the revenue, bringing more contract, more subscription, more money, or not? This is important. Again, it's about impacting more the business, not only the value. Again, still the value, also the business. And there is also a third important point that is learn fast. So fail fast with less iteration so that we can save money and go fast to the market. And this is exactly where AI comes to play. And this is exactly what I would love focus the conversation from now ahead. Because honestly, the delegation and impact more on revenue is something that is more a theoretical approach on the product management. Of course, there are lots of practical exercise and conversation we might have, but focusing on the artificial intelligence, I think that this is the third point where artificial intelligence comes to play an important role and can really help us. For sure, it is starting to help me. So, first of all, a big disclaimer. What I'm sharing here is my experience, and a lot of experience of the product manager, for example, in Docker, but in many other companies, for sure in my network. And so this is a personal, let me say, usage of artificial intelligence, and it is something that I am in a continuous learning process because honestly, I'm not aware, and I would like to hear your thoughts as well. I'm not aware about any best practice or any templating or any common pattern that is still proven to be efficient, valid, or powerful into the market. Everyone is learning about how to use artificial intelligence. And so I am learning as well. So I'm here to share what is my experience, and I would just to also make you faster in learning, and again fail faster through also my failures and my learnings, and maybe you will go faster in learning something new, and I hope that you will give back because I would like to also to learn from you. This is also something that you can see also into the market because a lot of tools leveraging AI are appearing and evolving. Okay, there is also a lot of buzzword. For example, I remember a mouse that has been advertised with artificial intelligence inside, and I struggle to understand what artificial intelligence for a mouse can be. But anyway, sorry, this is probably my bias, but it is true that a lot of tools are appearing and evolving rapidly, and we will show one of them that is Arrow. I mean, I don't want to say ChatGPT is on the mouth of everything. Everyone is talking about it, and again, I already mentioned that. I hope that this will save your time and will uh, allow you to go faster to the goal that is about finding the best way to leverage artificial intelligence. Today we will see in action, because I don't want to talk only. I would like to share things in hands-on session and believe. And so this is why I need to thanks the demo gods in advance, because I will do some live demos on several things of two different products. One is ChatGPT. I think that you have heard about it at least once. Oh, by the way, please let me know in chat if you don't know what ChatGPT is, because I'm happy to provide a little bit of introduction. But again, you will see in practice, you will see in action. And then we will see also Arrow. I'm pretty sure you don't know what Arrow is. It's a brand new product. And again, I'm part of the advisory board of this product, but I'm showing here, not because I'm here to sell it, but because I think this is a very interesting tool in the hands of the product manager. It's an example of artificial intelligence, how this can help the work of the product manager. Starting from ChatGPT, and again, no comments means that no comments in chat means that at least you heard about ChatGPT, it could be interesting to know how many of you are already leveraging ChatGPT in your daily work or again in your work, because I'm pretty sure most of you played a little bit with ChatGPT at least once. Perfect. Thank you, Tejas. So you should be an expert. Perfect. I see people is perfect. Perfect. So you will tell me, I would like to hear from you if what you see in front of you is something that is your usage or you use it in a different way. But ChatGPT is definitely one of the most famous and clever, I would say, AI-based chat box. So it is a chat box. Chat box means that you type some text, you interact with the system in a human-friendly. So thinking that there is a human behind, but instead there is a machine and an algorithm. And ChatGPT is a multi-purpose tool. It's a horizontal tool. This is why a lot of people is building on top of ChatGPT vertical usage. And honestly, I use ChatGPT not for pretty complex tasks. I don't know you guys, but I usually use ChatGPT, leverage ChatGPT a lot to speed the completion of simple tasks. And again, do you remember go fast, fail fast, speed my job or product manager? I leverage ChatGPT a lot to save my time, and I will show you exactly how later on through a demo. In terms of, but before getting to ChatGPT, I would like to share before Arrow that is more immediate as usage because it's not so horizontal and generic as tool, but instead is an AI assistant driving user researchers. So let me focus a little bit on two keywords, AI assistant and user research. AI assistant is absolutely a trend in this moment in time. It's honestly the major use case that I'm hearing all over the place about artificial intelligence is artificial intelligence will become your AI assistant on everything. AI assistant in development, AI assistant in user research in this case, AI assistant in this task, in that task, blah, 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 blah. It is true. This is absolutely a way that you can leverage artificial intelligence, but it is not the only one. So I would like to point the attention on the fact that AI assistants are not the only way to leverage artificial intelligence. There are many additional ways, and honestly, the market is also trying to find this way. There is no common pattern, but AI assistant is one of the possible applications. Honestly, Arrow is doing exactly this. Is doing an AI assistant for user research. That is a key and fundamental part of the role of a product manager, but it's also something that is taking a lot of effort and a lot of time for a product manager. Do you remember again the where we started? Saving time, fail fast, delegate to others, and this is exactly what Arrow is trying to do. So let's do some demo, and I would like to show you how to drive. So how to do customer interview using Arrow, so an AI assistant driving user researches, and then I would like to show you also how this can help the product manager, and also how to it's simple to create interview. So let me switch window. Let me know if you don't see if you don't see my screen, but you should see in front of you the browser with Arrow, with the website of Arrow. So let's enter into the dashboard. As you can see, there is already a product interview here, but instead of showing you the dashboard and how to use Arrow, let's try to simulate what is the user experience to simulate. Let's see what is the user experience in case you want to drive a user research. So sharing a simple link through email or whatever it is with your customer. I'm here to do a product check-in by Francesco Corti. So here there is an introduction. Your feedback is incredibly valuable, blah, 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 a lot of fluffy words. But I have to say that my name is Jane Mackenzie. Of course, I'm inventing. Let's get started. And so, hi, James. I'm an AI assistant. I'd like to ask you a few questions on behalf of the team. Let's begin with discussing your usage of the product. How often do you use the product on a daily basis? I'm imagining here to do user research on a specific software, maybe a new release of the software, and I want to hear some feedback on the software. This is great, Jane. It sounds like product is a regular part of your routine. Now I'd love to hear about your overall experience with the product. Could you share what you enjoy most by using it? The testing part is important to me. So, as you can see, there is here the request. Can you elaborate what makes testing part so important? How this been working for you? As you can see, it is a chatbot, and it seems to be there is a human interaction, exactly as I would do if I would do an interview. I can also raise difficult question like, I don't understand. And of course, artificial intelligence is addressing this. May I know in what phase of the life cycle should you use this, Tejas? Yeah, sure. This is a question. User research is a fundamental part of any product management role because, I mean, the job of the product manager is to create assumptions, and so I think that this feature is important for this reason, or I should ship this feature because it is helping this kind of users. But opinions and assumptions is something that are not enough alone. We need to provide evidence that this is something that is really helping our users, and to get evidence, for example, finding evidence of a new feature that we have shipped. Is this is useful? What is useful? What is not useful? Is it appreciated? What is working better? What is working well? What is not working well? This is important to drive user research. So we need to ask to the final users, and this is requiring an insane amount of time for each one of us, because we need to find the right people to interview, because we need to interview them, and we need a certain amount of people. With this kind of tools, we can replace the human interaction pretty decently and get to the point of getting feedback from on your assumption on all your releases. So it's absolutely important, and it's speeding your job. Trying to go faster. Could you describe what you like, what the testing feature of the product will benefit for you? The integration with the CI, for example. I don't know, something like this. How's integration impacted your full productivity? Saving 50% of the time of my team. That's impressive. Can you tell me about any challenges you face with the product? Is there anything that you think can be improved? Nope, everything is fine. I will cut it here because otherwise is exactly, it will continue the conversation until the system will find things to improve, the bottlenecks, blah blah blah. Instead, I think that it's enough to show what is the interaction. Goodbye, take care. So as you can see, it has been easy. And honestly, if we go here into the dashboard, it is requiring some seconds, some minutes, honestly, to see the responses here. There are three prior interviews done done here, and to the question, what extent the semantic analysis is done from the user feedback, I will show you in a second, because honestly, I have here a summary. And again, this is a summary done by the AI, by Arro, so the AI system, a summary of the outcomes. Look, as you can see, let's see if we have now four, no, still three. So this summary, the outcomes, the overall experience, and the opportunities for improvement, it's something that are summarized by the system for you. So you don't have to necessarily to go through all the details. As you can see, there are three submissions. Again, I'm waiting for the fourth because it requires some time to elaborate all the answers. But I don't need to go all the details, but I can, and I have some summary that I can leverage to take my decision as a product. We can spend a lot of time here, for example, how to do a new interview, because it's very easy. You have some templates, you can do a product checking, you can customize your content, and then you have a user-friendly interview to add open questions, drop down lists, surveys, and blah blah, and extend the survey as long as you want, as and you can. But we don't have time. And honestly, again, I'm not here to advertise this product in particular. Instead, I'm here to tell you that. Let me go back to the slides. Yes, that leveraging an AI assistant for this is saving a lot of your time. It's saving a lot of my time. But this is not the only usage that you can do with an artificial intelligence system. Let's move a little bit with ChatGPT, or at least the use that I do with ChatGPT. Honestly, I do several use of ChatGPT, and for sure, I try to speed the completion of simple tasks. I'm listing here some example: reviewing content, summarize content, analyze a big amount of data, define the assumptions. Let's start from something that is pretty basic, but again, it's a lot of gain in my time. That is reviewing content and summarize content. What I mean with this, let me let me share again ChatGPT. Again, I assume that most of you is familiar with the interface, but ChatGPT is a chat box. So you can say here uh, mm, something like something like I would like to summarize a long text because, for example, I don't have time to read a lot of content. I don't know you guys, but I have so much content and documents to read in my daily basis that often spend too much time in this, and I don't think that all the content is valuable. Let's take as an example. Imagine, for example, that I have one strategy document. This is a very common and very known product model at Spotify, written by Martin Kagan. It's a piece of text at the end of the journey. It can be a Google Doc, it can be a technical doc, and of course, I'm not going to share here any document, any sensitive document of Docker, but instead, for example, I can copy the text, for example, here, this text here, because I don't have time to read all the text. I can say, for example, to Chat GPT, summarize the text below. Copy there, boom. Okay, so now I have 3 paragraphs where I can learn about the text. And instead of reading the entire text, of course, to have an idea, because I'm not saying that we should stop reading the important content. I'm only saying that just to have the sense of how much is important this piece of text, I can read a few texts, or I can ask the system to say, summarize in 1 paragraph only. Okay? So with this action, I have an idea if I want to progress on the details or not. And maybe I can ask also a question like, uh, write the main topics in bullet points. Okay? So look, now again, I'm saving my time because instead of reading a lot of content, and again, this is not so long, but for sure I was needing how much? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, also to be concentrated. In this way, in this time, with less minutes, I can see a summary, see if it is really interesting for me, and maybe have a bullet points to say, okay, this is what it's talking about. Yes, it deserves to spend the 15 minutes, or no, I should skip and go on into another section. Again, more strategically, write me the highlights. For example, you can also ask it to put some highlights even more summarized. And again, this is an example, but another example of usage of simple tasks that are helping me in doing faster my job is this. Imagine that instead of a document, I have the transcript of a long meeting that I was not able to attend. This is an example of a transcription of a meeting. So that can be generated by Zoom or by any tool. So uh, summarize the content below. So doing the same, instead of doing viewing all the recording or reading the transcription, I can summarize what are the key points. And of course, I can do the same that you have seen previously, because I can ask also what are the key lights, what are the highlights of the conversation. So, for example, I can look, approval and agenda in minutes. Oh, there were a correction in this. So I can ask, for example, what was the correction? Look, I can interact and I can save my time. And again, I can save my time in this basic feature. So looking the transcription will require a lot of time. Looking at the video require a lot of time. Interacting with this, it is faster. I'm not, uh, as you can imagine, this is not something that I'm inventing, because, for example, Zoom is already doing this. Oh, sorry, with Zoom AI Companion. Uh, uh, so this is the smart assistant that Zoom is already offering, that is doing exactly what I was showing here, doing the recap, blah blah blah. But again, I'm not here to sell features or product. I'm only here to give you the idea on how I use and how to save my time. Let's go faster on other use cases, because and back to the presentation, because time runs fast, as you always. I would like to show you less basic use cases where you leverage ChatGPT, and in particular, analyzing data and big amount of data. So something that I found ChatGPT pretty useful, not extremely useful, but pretty useful, is also to help me in taking faster, analyzing faster the data. And I would like to show you a practical example again, in a live session. So imagine that I have imagine that I have um, a CSV file. So based on the data attached, no, upload the data attached, and let me attach some data from my computer. And these are, for example, I'm simulating customer support ticket. Of course, these are not real customer support ticket, because I cannot, of course. So these are something that I downloaded and I downloaded in internet. Okay. So the system is analyzing the data, and it's telling me, okay, these are the fields. It is a CSV file. So let me do something like, for example, let me start asking some questions, because maybe these are 1,000. Well, honestly, they are 1,000. They are 8,000 almost 500 data. So, for example, uh, uh, count count the rows per different values in the ticket description column. I know that there is a ticket description column here this, just to see what are the cases that my customer are raising. Okay, this is interesting. No, let me show me the chart. Okay, I want something more visual just to start taking the decision. Okay, let's see. Okay. Mm, this is not so useful. Let's see, for example, can you show, no, can you show me the trend per month? Probably this is better. So let's see how these tickets are evolving in month. Okay, it seems to be they are pretty regular, even if they are up and down. Okay, this is good. And I would like to do something a little bit more useful than the previous because it was not clear. Classify the rows per topic, extracting the topics from the column name ticket description. So let's go a little bit deeper into the content. So the system is telling me to classify the row. I can use natural language processing and I will try to classify the row. Let's see. Let's give it some seconds. And I told you about see something that in the meantime when we wait, something that I would like to share is this. First of all, as you can see, there is a completely different okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Classify the rows of the CSV file based on the topics above of the topics in the table above. Something that I want to share with you is that this is, as you can see, this is pretty useful because it's saving a lot of my time. Download classify support ticket. Show the because you can show the number of tickets in the tickets per topic. Let's see, because the question my question is not so clear. Okay, so okay, what is the description of now I become passionate about understanding what is the description of topic 4. Okay, so look, so this is not I mean, it is not helping a lot because I wanted to find an outcome of the analysis. But, one challenge that I'm finding using ChatGPT is that this is not consistent. Each time I raise a slightly different question, yeah, we see Tejas that ChatGPT is a waste of time. No, I think that is very helpful. But of course, you need to iterate and raise many questions. I mean, more questions until you find your path and the outcome that you are looking for. Honestly, in this demo, didn't succeed too much in the past, and when I was preparing this session was more useful. But this is also depends a lot also on the kind of questions that you're raising and the answer. This is why ChatGPT can also not be always helpful in the way that Teja is saying, and you need to start continuing investing. I mean, in answering, asking questions and analyzing content a little bit more. But because we don't have time, I cannot continue. But I want to give you the sense of how I'm using it. And instead, I would like to continue the conversation on, and I hope that this gave you, this demo gave you also the sense of how I use it and how I try to save my time with these tools. And again, I would like to continue the conversation because I have an important topic that I would like to continue discussing with you a little bit. First of all, what are the lessons learned so far by myself and the team, and the things that we were showing here as an example? That first of all, that it is very common to use AI as a kind of assistant. This is one of the most recurrent pattern that I'm hearing and I see into the market. And honestly, I think it works pretty well if you have specific use cases and specific solutions. For example, I think that Arrow was a pretty good example where you can have a very focused and narrowed and practical uh, result on how to leverage an AI assistant. And honestly, it is saving a lot of time. And there are also general purpose AI tool that can help in completing faster, simple tests tasks. You have seen also in a more advanced analysis that it can also can be something that is not one shot, one kill, but it's something that you need to iterate and try to continue investigating and using it. So in practice, I'm not here saying, hey, AI is going to change your life, your job, your way of working, but it is impacting. So the final question that uh, uh, can you share the brief summary on Arrow? Sorry, I don't think I understand the question, but anyway, we will continue. Um, uh, I would like to again continue the conversation with you with some important question. I think that that AI is helping in my job, is helping in my role, and it is making me faster. But the next question that I would like to investigate a little bit more is how much. Honestly, there are interesting articles, and you can see one here about how much AI is helping, for example, software developers. It is talking about 20% of the time. We can debate it is true, it is too much, blah blah blah, but there are some numbers. But what about the role of a product manager? I'm not aware about anything here. So this is an interesting conversation to have. And based on my experience, for the moment, AI is not helping too much, but it is helping. And so it is saving my time, but let me say, is not removing the waste of time that I have or my repetitive work. It simply solving some of them. It is important to point that I'm not saying that AI is useless. I'm not here. I mean, there are also lots of people saying, this is a buzzword. No, 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 no. I think that that AI is going to change our job and our way of working, as it happened with the mobile and the cell phone in the past. But we need to find pattern and a successful way to leverage AI. For example, I like this quote that it went pretty viral in the past because a lot of people is scary about AI will replace my job, will replace myself as a human. And this is fun because this gentle lady mentioned that I don't need AI to make art. We need AI to write emails and clean the house and deliver the groceries so humans can make more art. I tend to agree, but honestly, I think we are very, very far from AI replacing human and making arts. Forget about the experiments on painting, blah blah blah, that I don't think are so relevant in the everyone's life. But there are for sure important applications. For example, I don't know if you're aware about this startup who is promising to create some AI-driven developers, so automatic developers. But also in this case, I don't think that they are going to. I mean, I don't think. I think it's pretty clear that they are not going to replace developers. Instead, I'm going to help developers the most boring tasks. I see one question. I keep hearing about application of chatbots in customer service. Can you suggest any other ideas, use case of where Gen AI can help improve customer service? Well, customer service, mm, I think that analyzing data is something that, I mean, providing a human-friendly interface to analyze data. I'm not saying that should replace, for example, the analytics that are very powerful and complex software, but having human-friendly way to query and analyze data is important. But Shnuti, to your point, I think it's something that should deserve more elaborate, I mean, more conversation. But it's an interesting point. Continuing with the conversation, we are going fast also to the end of the presentation, but also to the a final message that I would like to share with you. Where do we go with it? So, I mean, what we have seen now is that the role of a product manager evolved. AI is coming to play and is required to play a role into the product management role, into the management job. What about the future? Where we are going? What we should expect in the near future about the impact of AI. Because as you have seen, there's no pattern. Yes, it is saving time, but on the most boring and practical stuff, what is in front of us? And I would like to, and one of the most recurring questions that I'm hearing is my job at risk because of AI? Will I be replaced as a human, as a product manager? By AI. I would like also to touch this. Of course, this is the most challenging part because it's about imagining, forecasting the future, but this is also what I like to do as part of my speech and my contribution to the conversation with the community as you are, guys. And I would like to discuss this with the lens of now, in 2 years, and in the future. Not so far, but pretty far. So, first of all, talking about today's date. Honestly, in my experience and from what I talk with people and read around, there aren't patterns for using AI in product management. And not only product management, I would say. There are lots of solutions growing and appearing, but it doesn't mean that these will be the real usage. But it's an interesting trend. So this is why we all agree that it is going to impact and happen for sure. For sure, the current layoff are not because AI are replacing people, but because there are other reasons. It can be economical, it can be revenue, it can be forecasting, it can be too much investment in the past, it can be a lot of things, but people is not laid off, is not firing because of AI, for sure. Uh, from this point of view, your job is not at risk because of AI. Maybe it's at risk because the company is not going well as expected. Maybe it's a risk for change of priorities, but not because of AI. Instead, you should start learning how to leverage AI to go faster in your decision, not because Francesco is telling this, but because the market is requiring product manager to go faster with less. And AI, it's a great tool to do that. The message for me and something to that I would like you to think about is that no bias on AI. I hear a lot of people say, "No, I'm not going to use AI anymore. Never, never in my life." So no, I suggest you no bias. AI can be your friend and will be your friend. Opening parenthesis, I remember because again, unfortunately, I'm old. Also, when the mobile happened, the first mobile was becoming tangible and impacting our life. I remember because I was there. I am one of the people. I was born without mobile, and I had my first mobile when I was 20, 23, I think. I remember a lot of friends saying, "Oh, I will never have a mobile in my life." Is it something that you would say now? I don't think so. I think it will happen something similar also for AI. In 2 years, so in the short term, I would say AI will evolve and be better from what it is now, for sure. As you can see, there are continuous growth every week, every month, but it's still far to be able to replace a human, including the role of the job of the product manager. We will see more data after, because this is of course is a statement that is something that I'm summarizing. Uh, there is a something that I imagine will be a strange paradox, is that a PM with AI skill will be also more requested as a professional, simply because it will go faster and more effective. So in some extent, AI is helping us to have better jobs and do better our job. So I expect AI to help us in the short term, because we will be more effective soon with AI. So again, my suggestion, my recommendation to you is find your way to use AI, leverage AI, because it will help you to be better in your work. What about the future? Well, everyone, and again, I'm talking about experts, not me, that I'm a simple user, so even if I try to leverage AI as much as I can, but experts like IBM and other dedicated website and people. I'm putting here some website for if you want to know more. Are saying that we need to wait for artificial general intelligence to match or surpass human capabilities. We are very far from there. And only when we will have this artificial general intelligence, we can discuss, I'm not saying doing, discuss about human replacement. How far we are from there. Let me share what more than 350 AI experts are telling about that. 50% of them believe that it will be possible within 2060. So, guys, I think we have some time. 90% of them believes that it will be in the next 100 years. And just a caveat, since the 60s, so almost 45 years ago, we are expecting AGI to happen. This is to say that AGI is something pretty far in the future. And in brief, we can say that AI is booster the job and the role of the PM, and it is not replacing in any way or form in the medium and long term, I would say, our job and our role. So no bias on adopting AI. Instead, join the AI movement and use AI to be better in your job and in your decisions. Let me close here, and then I will share a final thought. As usual, I'm a little bit out of time. Well, 1 hour of pitch, but again, there is a lot to say on this topic. What we have seen together is how the role of a product manager is evolving in time from the very beginning. Again, it's not a super ancient role and super old job. The impact of AI we discussed the impact of artificial intelligence for PM and when it plays a role about saving your time and go faster in your decision. We saw in action ChatGPT and Arro. This time ChatGPT didn't help us too much, but again, we forgive it. It's an amazing tool. We took a look at the future where the AI will bring the role of the product manager, and we discussed a little bit about the fact that your job is at risk or not with AI, and we discussed that it is not a risk at all. Let's see if we have time for. So thank you for raising your questions also in chat. I would like to finish my contribution and my thought with you with one thought that is still valid. This is a sentence from Albert Arbard. There is a man lived in the end of the 19th century, but it's still very valid for the role of the product manager with AI. So one machine can do the work of 50 ordinary product manager. So replacing them in the most basic and boring and let me say stupid tasks, but there's no machine that can do the work of an extraordinary man. And the only option that we have is to be an extraordinary product manager so that AI will not touch us, but instead will help us. Thank you very much. I don't know if we have time for questions. I will rely on the Data Couch guys if we have time or not.
We can have a couple of questions if that's fine with you.
Yes, that's fine me. Any question, guys, that you might have on what you have seen or sharing your thoughts? I don't know. Feel free to drop them into the chat or unmute yourself if you can. Uh, okay. I thank you, Sanjay, for the feedback. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn for the future. And again, thank you, Data Couch, for having me here. And yeah, I enjoyed.
So, before we conclude, I kindly ask everyone to take a moment to complete the feedback form shared in the chat. Your feedback is invaluable in helping us enhance our future sessions. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Francesco for delivering such an informative and engaging session today. I trust that you found the insights as valuable as I did. For those who missed any part of the session or wish to revisit the material, a recording will be available on DataCouch's YouTube channel. The link to the recording will be shared on our social media channels and in our monthly newsletter. If you have any further questions or would like to explore additional resources, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@datacouch. And to stay updated on our upcoming sessions and access more valuable content, please subscribe to our social media channels and join our meetup groups. The relevant links are available in the chat. Thank you for your participation today, and we look forward to seeing you at our next event. Wishing you a wonderful rest of the day or evening and a great weekend. Thank you so much, Francesco.